Hey there, it's February 16th. It's a Thursday, which means the unicorn has the day off, and I'll be wrapping up all of the advice from the unicorn and the movements that we went through over the last week. So there's two main pieces of movement, the traveler's stretch and then also the hip rotator. So I'll put them together in a flow and hopefully you will enjoy as you follow along. So we're going to start in mountain pose. Let's go ahead and get into that position at the top of the mat. So we'll start with the feet shoulder width apart, the legs nice and active. So I'm activating the thighs, but keeping the knees soft by imagining that block in between the legs. So if you need to start off with that, feel free to do so. Roll the shoulders back, tuck in the tailbone. I know it's a lot, but we're creating this neutral spine here. So tucking in the tailbone, shoulders are back. Nice. And if you have that block, you can go ahead and let that go because we're going to need those in a little bit. Just taking a moment here to just notice the body and notice how it's settling into this standing shape. I'd like for you to just tune into the parts of the body that are being supported by the floor. Notice how your toes are spreading and planting, how the side of the foot and the heel is grounding down into the mat, holding you solid, holding you steady. Let's go ahead and take a couple of breaths here. Let's inhale in through the nose, raising my arms up, and drop the shoulders away from the ears, and then exhaling it down. Inhale it up, exhale it down. Last time, inhaling it up, exhale it down. Go ahead and grab your blocks. So I'm going to use 2 blocks, but if you don't have blocks, you can also use a seat. You can actually use a carry-on bag if you want, because we're getting ready to do the traveler stretch. So it's 5 stretches, all based on this forward fold. We're really going to focus in on the hamstrings and then the upper body. So our first stretch will be a forward fold with the hands out. So I'm using the blocks to catch my hands. So it's kind of like this downward dog where the hands are going to be out, letting the head fall through the shoulders, very much like the down dog. We're just going to hold this stretch for a minute. And while you're here, is to take that time to notice the breath and get back into that inhaling, exhaling in through the nose and out of the mouth. And during the week, we had talked about loving kindness and how the phrase, I hope all is well, is actually a loving kindness statement because you are wishing out into the world, out to a specific person or people, um, good things, wellness, being happy, being healthy. So we zeroed in on the phrase, I hope all is well. So I'd like for you to, as you're doing each of these stretches, think about someone that you'd like to wish well. All right. So we're going to move into the next pose and begin sending those good vibes out to that person. So this next pose is hands on the knees. So I'm actually just going to put my hands just underneath my knees to keep from locking my legs. But it just is more fun to say hands on the knees. And in this shape, my elbows are going to naturally fall out to the side, which is creating this stretch in the upper part of the shoulders, in the back or the triceps, back of the arms, and then still stretching into the hamstrings. So I'm going to put a minute on the timer here and continue to just melt into this stretch and think about that person that you're wishing well. Just use this time to send that phrase out to them. I wish you were well. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. If your legs ever feel a little tight, you definitely can bend the knees to soften the knees and then bring yourself back into that stretch there. So really challenging the hamstring to let go and to just let it stretch. Let the stretch happen. All right. The third one, time is flying when you're having fun. The third one is going to be hands through the knees. So I'm going to take the blocks and send them back behind me, and may need to adjust the height of those blocks depending on your own range of motion. So this is hands behind, this is hands behind, right? Find whatever feels most comfortable and allow yourself to settle into this shape and continue sending those positive vibes or continue sending those words of loving kindness. That's what I want to say to maybe another person. Who else would you like to wish well? Get that person locked in your head and send that phrase out. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. Sending that love out to someone who you hope is well. All right, stretch forward. It's going to be behind the back. So you'll take your hands, clasp them behind your back, allow your hands to fall forward. You'll feel that stretch in the biceps and in the front of the shoulders and in the upper pecs. And while you're here, it's another opportunity to think about another person that you'd like to wish well. Just, I hope all is well. Softening the knees and bending and straightening the legs as you need to provide a little relief there to the hamstrings, but staying in the fold. This is allowing us to really use the power of gravity to pull the vertebrae up and out of the lower body, unstacking them, uncrunching them, lengthening into the spine, into the neck. All right. Our last stretch, number 5. Hands are going to be back in the front. You'll grab your elbows. And if you'd like, you could swing in the breeze. The breeze. We'll call this one the tree swing. Start the timer for 1 more minute here. And this time you can settle in on yet another person that you'd like to wish well. And don't forget, if you need to, you can bend and straighten in the legs, giving your hamstrings a little bit of a relief there, but then getting back into that stretch. And the gravity from hanging upside down is like an inversion table. So we're getting the benefits of an inversion table and some deep recovery work in the hamstrings. All right. So that concludes those 5 minutes of that stretch. I'd like for you to just soften the knees now and slowly roll up. You spent quite a bit of time hanging upside down. So your balance is going to need a moment to regain its footing. So roll up And just notice what you notice here. Take a moment and just linger in this position right here. Maybe allow yourself to shift from side to side. So shift from side to side. As you're inhaling and exhaling, maybe bend from side to side, sending your arms down the side body with each sway. Getting into that idea of being fly as F. And also just giving the body a much needed counter stretch from those 5 minutes. Beautiful. And then maybe lift the arms up a little bit higher if you want, bringing them up and down. Maybe both arms up and down. Whatever feels good. Give yourself a moment to just stretch it on out. So now just go ahead and make your way down to the mat. So no fancy way of getting down there, just do it safely. Just lowering yourself down, sitting down on your sits bones, and then just laying down. Just take a moment to feel and notice and reestablish that foundation by noticing where your body's connecting to the floor. I'm going to use that ocean breath now. So in through the nose, out of the nose, in through the nose, out of the nose. Making me think about the 64 ounces of water. So I wish each breath counted as an ounce of water, but it does not. But we can at least breathe like the sounds that the water makes when they create waves. So just breathing in and out here a couple more times. And bring your feet up to the mat. So you're bending your knees now. And then you're going to bring the knees to the chest. So we're going to take the curve out of the back there and provide yet one more counter stretch from that forward fold. And if you'd like, you could rock from side to side, or maybe do little circles with the knees. Beautiful job. And then go ahead and grab your strap or a belt or maybe a towel. And you can lift up the right leg. I'm going to put that strap or the belt around the right foot. Getting ready to go in this around the world formation with the feet and with the leg. So right now my left leg is bent, just to keep the body stable, and my right leg is straight. Go ahead and activate that leg there by flexing the foot, and then you're just going to bring that foot slightly in towards you. So giving a stretch again to the hamstring, but no folds this time. We're going to go around the clock. So we're going to imagine that this leg is like the hour hand on a clock. And I just invite you to, as you're inhaling and exhaling, slowly let that right leg fall out to the side. Nice. Feeling a nice stretch here in the inner thigh. And then take a moment to just play around with the location of that leg so that you're able to feel that stretch in the inner leg without causing too much pain or discomfort for your body. And if you need to, you could use the block to place underneath that knee, but it's still, it does not take away from the stretch there. You're still getting a stretch in the inner thigh there, even with the support underneath the leg. You can also use your hand. You can also use your right hand, taking the strap in the left hand and letting that leg hang out to the side. Using that ocean breath here. All right. Go ahead and continue to make your way down, loosening the grip on that strap, guiding the right leg down. And this is where you can straighten the left leg because you're going to grab the strap in your left hand now. So we're going to prepare to bring this leg around the other way. So once you've switched positions there with the hand on the strap, go ahead and lift that right leg up a little bit and continue to bring it around the clock, bringing the leg around to the left side. Getting into the stretch here on the outer leg now. Holding that stretch for a couple of counts, inhaling and exhaling. Imagine that you're sending the right sits bones back toward the mat. So that might lift the leg up a little bit, but that's okay. But you're wanting to send your butt cheek back toward the mat. It helps to focus that stretch right here on the outer part of the leg. Now, bend that leg. So using the strap, guide the leg towards you, bending the leg, rolling back onto your back. So getting back into this flat formation, if you will. But now the difference is that I've got my leg here hinged on the right side. And then I'm feeling a nice stretch here on the left side, right here on the upper quad. Let's see here. Using the strap to guide that leg down and just adjust the hands until you find a nice shape to settle into. Like regain that ocean breath in through the nose, out of the nose. Straighten that right leg now. So allow yourself to feel the straightening on the right side, creating kind of an upside down split. And if it is a bit of a stretch or too intense of a stretch, you can lift up into that left leg a little bit, bending the left leg, but wanting to focus now on straightening into that right leg. So adjust accordingly so that you're comfortably in that final stretch here on the side. Nice job. Go ahead and release the strap, letting the leg come back to the original upright position. I sound like a flight attendant here, but you're going to take that left leg now and put it inside the strap also. So putting the left foot and the right foot together. And just take a moment here to reset. And when you're ready, take the right leg out of the strap there, placing it on the mat. So my leg is going to be bent. And I'm going to activate this left leg now by flexing the foot. Flexing the foot creates that nice active leg, and so does bringing the leg in toward you. So flex the foot, bring the leg in, stretching into the hamstring again. Here we go. Taking it around the clock, opening up into that stretch on the left side now, feeling the stretch as it moves into the inner thigh. Nice inhales and exhales here. And allow your body to just find that position that feels good to it and hold it there. So each of our shapes are going to look a little different, but this feeling is the same, that feeling of the stretch on the inner thigh. All right, loosen the grip there on the strap just a little bit and float that leg down the left side, bringing it down to your mat. You may need to straighten that right leg now, and then we're going to switch the hand positions, bringing the strap into the left hand. So now I'm going to send this left leg to the other side, bringing it across the body, focusing on sitting my butt cheek onto the mat as much as I can while I bring this stretch up and into the outer part of the left leg here. Inhaling and exhaling allows that relaxation to further send that butt back to the mat and the stretch into the outer part of the leg there, the IT band and the TFL muscle, in the TFL, I mean. All right, bend the leg and then roll back on back, coming onto the mat. Both butt cheeks are nice and grounded again. Both sits bones are nice and grounded again. And you're going to bring this leg, this hinged leg, toward your body using the strap to guide it. It's a really good stretch here for the hamstrings yet again, but then also for this upper quad on the right leg. Now straightening into the left leg there, giving one last stretch to the hamstring. And if you'd like, you can also bend that right leg in a little just to really focus the stretch on the hamstring. Using that ocean breath to remind the body to rest. So no fighting or fleeing on this one, just a nice, gentle, calming breath. Good job. Let's release that. Hold on the strap now. You're going to put both feet back inside the strap and bring those knees to the chest. And if it feels good, go ahead and grab behind the knees. And can rock side to side. So modifying our happy baby a little bit by just embracing the legs behind the knees. It's a nice moment to think about that love letter, the love letter to your body. What would it look like? What would it sound like? What would you say? Go ahead and drop your left leg, straightening that left leg. We're just going to do one more rotation with the right leg, just bending the knee, bringing the knee up, making nice little circles here. Thinking about what we would say in that love letter to the body. Good. Do it to the other side now. Bringing that left leg out, bending the knee, straightening it back down. This is also around the clock. This is another way to expand in the hips, lubricating the hip rotator and making all of the connecting muscles and tissue surrounding the hip happy. So the inner thigh, the hamstring, the upper quad, and the IT band, the TFL, all of them are getting some love. Nice. Go ahead and extend that leg, send it down the mat. Just enjoy this Shavasana, this final resting moment. Allow the moves and the breath work and the reflection that you just did. Let it come back home. Let it settle into the body here. Just continue to write out that love letter. What would it say in that love letter to your body? I'm going to stop the recording here, but I invite you to continue to enjoy this Shavasana, this resting pose, and give voice to the words that might be forming in your mind. See what it feels like to let them trickle out of your mouth and have a sound. I'm going to stop the recording here. I'm going to stop the recording now, but I invite you to continue to enjoy this pose in this moment.